007 First Light is $70 or euros on all platforms. It's 20 hours long and it has no multiplayer. So 5 questions every buyer is asking before May 26th. The answer is based on everything IO Interactive has confirmed, and then there's 5 predictions I'm testing the moment the game unlocks. So, 007 First Light actually launches on May 27th, but has a 24-hour early access period for all pre-orders. A 20-hour story mode and no multiplayer have been confirmed. But I have 5 questions I need answered the second I get my hands on the game. You probably have the same ones. Every bit of info here is built from IO Interactive's official statements, September State of Play deep dive, and confirmed hands-on press coverage. Each question ends with a specific prediction I'll be verifying once I have the full game in front of me. Day 1 launch review goes up later this week. Let's go. Question 1. Is this just Hitman with a Bond skin? Every Hitman fan and every Hitman skeptic is asking this. The answer is no, in both directions. IO Interactive is the developer, so the DNA is there. Systematic stealth, social manipulation, mission-based level design. Anyone who played Hitman will roughly feel 40% at home in First Light. But IO has explicitly pitched this is a mix of Hitman, Uncharted, and Batman Arkham. That means cinematic pieces, parkour, hand-to-hand combat, and a linear story mission sit alongside the sandbox stealth. The bluff mechanic is new and Bond-specific. You can shoot enemies in the feet to non-lethally take them down, and the de-escalation is a design pillar. If you wanted another Hitman with bigger sandboxes, this is not it. If you wanted a Bond-flavored action stealth hybrid, this is built for you. The prediction I'm verifying is that the linear set pieces will outweigh the sandbox missions roughly 60 to 40, meaning this is closer to Uncharted than to Hitman. If that ratio flips after I play, I'll mention it specifically in the review. Question 2. Is it worth $69.99? Standard edition is $69.99 on all digital stores. The gameplay director told press at a LAN and hands-on event that the main campaign runs around 20 hours for an average player. Stealth-focused playthroughs a little longer, and aggressive playthroughs a little shorter. On top of the campaign, there's Tag Sim, IO's replayable mission variant mode with online leaderboards. Conceptually similar to Hitman's escalations or elusive targets. IO has confirmed to ongoing live service support, so expect new Tag Sim content post-launch. For context, that's longer than Hellblade 2 and roughly even with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Around $3.50 of campaign per hour at full price, before Tag Sim. There's also a Legacy Edition at $299.99, Collector's Tier, Statue and Steelbook. Standard is the buy for almost everyone. If you have PS Plus Extra, do not wait for it there. IO has not signaled any subscription deal, and third-party originals rarely hit PS Plus Extra in year 1. If you finish single-player games once and never replay, 20 hours at $70 is borderline expensive. If you replay missions for mastery and leaderboards, this is good value at full price. The prediction I'm verifying is the 20-hour estimate is generous. I expect the average completion to land closer to 15 hours, with Tag Sim content carrying the long tail. If I roll credits past 22 hours, I'll flag it. Question 3. Can I play with friends? No. Strictly single player. No co-op, no competitive multiplayer, no split screen. IO Interactive said multiplayer was not in the conversation at any point during development. The only online element is Tag Sim leaderboards, which is asynchronous. You compete on score, not in the same lobby. But what is Tag Sim? This mode adapts the escalation mission formula from the Hitman series. In these simulations, you replay the same sandbox missions across multiple tiers, with each tier adding new difficulty modifiers, such as outfit locking restrictions to test your spycraft skills. If you wanted a GoldenEye successor with split screen, this is not the game and it never was. If you primarily play co-op with a friend, this is not your purchase. If you play single-player narrative games, ignore the questions entirely because you already know you pre-ordered it. The prediction I'm verifying is that the Tag Sim leaderboards will be the only feature anyone returns to repeatedly post-credits. Story replay value will be low because of the cinematic framing. I'll confirm this after my first couple of Tag Sim runs. Question 4. How does it run on console? IO has officially confirmed the performance targets. On the base game, 60 FPS performance mode and a 30 FPS quality mode. On Pro consoles, 60 FPS locked. No 120 FPS mode has been announced. The controller integration is full, not the laser minimum. Haptics tied to explosions and gadgets, adaptive triggers with different recoil profiles per weapon. There's also a limited edition DualSense at $84.99 with a golden finish. Pure cosmetic. Do not factor that in the buy decision unless you collect controllers. If 30 FPS in single-player games is unplayable for you, this is one of the few major launches where base console still gets you 60 FPS. You're covered either way. The prediction I'm verifying is that performance mode on the base game will probably hold 60 FPS in stealth segments, but you might drop the larger set pieces, specifically the airport sequence and any vehicle chases. Quality mode will lock 30 FPS cleanly, but I'll capture frame counters from both modes and report the actual numbers in the review. Question 5. Which Bond is this? Brand new Bond, not Daniel Craig, not Connery, not any film incarnation. Development with Amazon MGM Studios with its own standalone canon, unconnected to any film or book continuity. The story is an origin. You play a young recruit working through the MI6 program towards the 00 designation, reckless, untested, and explicitly not yet the polished agent from the movies. This is also the chapter 1 of a planned trilogy. IO has stated they're building 3 games in sequence, reusing systems and assets to keep costs down. If you only engage with Daniel Craig's Bond or reuse any other interpretations, skip. If you're open to a new origin take, this is the most ambitious Bond game in 20 years and the only one for the foreseeable future. The prediction I'm verifying is that the new Bond's actor performance will divide the audiences in the same way the early Daniel Craig reaction did in 2006. Critics will rate the writing higher than the fanbase will on launch week. I'll have a take on the actor and the script in the full review, but honestly, after watching the Dexter Origin series, the expectations are high. Going in, this is the call. If you like Hitman, single-player action games, or any post-2012 Bond film, it's a confident pre-order at full price. If you only play co-op, only buy 50+ hour games, or specifically wanted a multiplayer Bond shooter, wait for a sale or skip. Quick note on the launch itself, because it matters for the purchase decision. Pre-ordering 007 First Light gets you the deluxe edition content at no additional cost, which lets you boot it up on May 26th instead of the standard May 27 release date. Only the digital versions give you 24-hour early access, which means if you want to jump in on May 26th, you have to purchase the game on Steam, Epic Games, Play Store, or the Xbox Online Store. Physical pre-orders unlock with everyone else on May 27th. Global unlock time for both windows is 3 PM BST, 1600 CST, 7 AM Pacific, or 10 AM Eastern. Full launch review goes up later this week, with every prediction in this video confirmed or disproven. Subscribe so it lands on your feed. If you want a 6th question answered on release, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Else, stay frank, and I'll see you in the next one.